There's a million miles of memories down a highway he calls home, and he lives to tell the stories of the friends that he has known. You see and feel the difference when you ride along with him and travel to the places you never would have been. Travelin Arkansas.
At Doris Curtis's house in Hot Springs, you never know what you have to pick up to answer the phone. Hello? A shoe?
Doris has many of us beat as far as having the most phones in a house. She has more than 300.
That's right. I have more than 300 telephones. There's over 160 on display. But we just didn't have enough room to get the rest of them out. Hello.
Throughout 37 years of collecting, Doris has every kind of phone imaginable.
For you Trekkies, Doris has this. Captain's log, stardate 495678. I wonder if Michael Jordan or Scottie Pippen have one of these in their homes.
Doris even has the world's smallest phone, if you can figure out how to talk into it. So what's up with Doris and all these phones?
I really don't know, but I just love them. I just fell in love with them when I started collecting them, and I just, every time I see one, well, I think, well, now if I don't have one like that, well, I just got to have that, so I'll go ahead and get it. We have them in all rooms, so when we need them, we've got them.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
We're sorry, your call cannot be completed as dialed.
In Hot Springs, Chuck Dovish, today's THV, Travelin Arkansas. If you're in the minority these days who's not into collecting something, you might want to listen up as to what would be the best thing to collect.
The hottest thing right now would probably be collectible comics that are older, mid-60s, early 70s, what they call Silver and Golden Age. In this particular store, our most popular thing is the gaming.
Games like the Magic card game.
Probably 85% of my customers play it on a daily basis. We have tables we allow people to play from the time I open until, well, sometimes after closing. It's got all the speed of poker, but it's got all the thinking of chess.
Wayne says sports figure autographs are always worth some money, such as these Muhammad Ali autographed boxing gloves.
That's probably the only thing in the store I might not part with. Those are my favorite. I picked those up at an auction, and he didn't sign very many autographs, unlike some of the baseball players.
Movie action figures are also good collectibles.
The stuff that came out in the mid-70s, though, is still the big money maker right there.
The Star Wars stuff?
The Star Wars stuff from '77, any of the Mego action figures from the early '70s for the Justice League, the superheroes, the Superman, the Batman. Those are always going to be probably the most sought-after collectibles.
What's this guy here? What's he all about?
This is the Tick, and he has nigh invulnerability. That's his superpower. He can't be killed or hurt, but he's probably my favorite. He's one of the most friendly characters out there.
There's also one other friendly character out there. You may want to get yours early. In Bryant, Chuck Dovish, today's THV, Travelin Arkansas.
One that I know of that Chelsea was on. They wouldn't allow her picture to be on any of the buttons.
Oh, they would. Nancy Phillips of Batesville has an obsession with campaign buttons.
They're colorful, they're easy to display, you don't have to have a lot of space, and they're just exciting. They keep you involved in the political process, and you just get a big kick out of collecting them. Some of them are serious, some of them are funny, and it's just really gets to be a lot of fun.
Nancy's collection began 10 years ago, but she didn't set out to become a button collector.
I went to an auction of a friend of mine who had been collecting John Kennedy memorabilia, And I bought this button collection, and the next thing I knew, I was buying some here and buying some there, and then all of a sudden they were everywhere. So I've accumulated quite a collection.
And that she has, more than 3,000 buttons, beginning with the 1896 McKinley race, which is her oldest, but not her favorite.
Probably the one that I'm most proud of is one that I just picked up by accident before Bill Clinton even thought about running for president or even talked about it. I was in Harrison one day and I picked up a Clinton for Congress button for $1, and I just put it with my collection. Then after he ran and was elected, I've had people calling offering me up to $500 if I would sell that button.
In Batesville, Chuck Dovish, today's THV, Travelin Arkansas. This is our mission, to take you inside the clock at the top of the Pulaski County Courthouse. Not an easy task. Former Little Rock Police Chief Sonny Simpson, now head of administrative affairs at the courthouse, gave us the go-ahead.
Our little journey up to the clock tower begins with the venture up a spiral staircase, and later on, I am told, a series of ladders and I don't know what else. Here we go. Sonny, looks like you forgot to sweep up around here. Okay, this is the ladder we mentioned a second ago. Things we go through. Brian, you're going to love this, climbing up here with that camera. Yes. Feel like I'm in training to be a firefighter.
The transformation of the clock from its 1897 mechanics to the present was the mechanical genius work of today's THV's very own Jay Oakes.
The old technology with the movements and how they worked and things was just a lot of fun. It was like some people like to work on steam locomotives. I just happen to like to work on clocks and clock towers.
Instead of a series of pendulums, the clock is now electrically powered and computerized. Funny the difference 100 years makes.
So today it was the clock tower at the Pulaski County Courthouse, and next week, oh, there you are. Next week, who knows where we may take you Thursday night, where you, the viewer, can't normally go. At the clock tower in the Pulaski County Courthouse in Little Rock, Chuck Dovish, today's THV, Travelin Arkansas.
For more than a decade now, it stood as the state's tallest building, the TCBY Tower in Little Rock, or Yogurt Tower as some refer to it, the country's best yogurt. We're on the 14th floor of the TCBY Tower. This is where it all happens. The name right there, TCBY, International Headquarters. Excuse me, you're not the yogurt queen, are you here?
Oh, I'm afraid not. Don't I wish?
Is Mr. Frank Hickenbotham in?
He sure is.
All right, you don't mind if I mosey on over there? All right, we'll just make ourselves at home here.
Many parts of the world don't have buildings this tall, and certainly this stands out on the landscape in Little Rock and Central Arkansas.
And I have to mention, I've been eating this ever since I, came to Little Rock. And Frank, you make some good yogurt.
Thank you.
Darn good yogurt.
I agree.
Well, next stop on our way up, the 39th floor.
After getting off on the 39th floor, Carson Greggs here will do the honors of leading the rest of the way on foot. See you at the top. The only good thing about it, we don't have to climb any ladders.
On the 41st floor, where access is denied, we let you through.
Secret access code.
One more door.
Here we are, atop Arkansas. Hello, what are you doing? Well, here we are, 41 stories up. They say on a clear day you can almost see the Pine Bluff. Today, well, you kind of be lucky to see West Little Rock. Now, don't forget, next Thursday night to join us once again at 10 o'clock, where we take you, the viewer, where access is denied. For now, high atop the TCBY Tower in Little Rock, Chuck Dovish, today's THV, Travelin Arkansas. While I'm here, Let me do a little maintenance work here for the engineers and clean up this lens a little bit. Yeah, all righty, there you go.
This is my passion, my gourds. I've been doing this 4 years. I've been painting for about 10.
But gourds haven't always been a passion with Sammy Crawford of Hot Springs, who calls herself the Fairy Gourdmother.
A group of us used to get together in our homes and paint a day a week. And that particular week, this little gal decided we were going to paint a gourd. And I had never thought much about them at all, really. And it wasn't real high on my list of priorities, but we did a birdhouse, and it was so neat, and it turned out so well, I just fell in love with them. And it seems like you either hate them or you love them. There's no in between. And I got hooked, and I've been doing it ever since.
Sammy travels Arkansas and the surrounding states, visiting gourd farms to buy the gourds, which she turns into three-dimensional paintings.
That was my very first one.
This one over here?
This was 93. That was the first cottage. That's now hardly a cottage. This was the second published pattern I had. You just glue these on and then paint them like awnings or whatever. This is taking advantage of your deficits. There was a dent in this one. I didn't know what to do with it, so I just turned it into a window. You can't always do it. Sometimes you have to just fill it in and do the best you can, but in this case, it just fell right into place. A lot of them just jump right up and tell you what they are. I mean, you can look at it and just immediately know it's supposed to be a Santa or it's supposed to be a cottage. Some of them take a lot longer, like the ham sandwich over there took a while. It laid around here on the floor, and I looked at that and I'd think, well, it's a loaf of bread or a snake that ate a loaf of bread or something. I couldn't quite get it, and a friend said, why don't you make a sandwich? And that gelled.
Near Hot Springs, Chuck Dovish, today's THV, Travelin Arkansas.
There have been many a train station restored recently throughout the state. Those that we've visited in past years have been mostly city museums or county museums. But this one in Beebe is an art gallery. And when you go inside, you can usually find Dr. Lou Lavello piddling around with something or another.
On this particular day, Dr. Lavelle was busy helping a fellow artist put the finishing touches on a mold of Fayetteville's Old Main. Plans for this train station to become an art gallery didn't happen all at once.
When I first began, the only thing I wanted to do was take my china painting table out of my closet at home, and then for some of the china painter members of my club to have a place to display their work. And then when the building became available, then I came in and started cleaning and pulling nails and hauling junk away. And then someone came along and suggested, well, why don't you carry china painting supplies? Then I decided I would carry some art supplies. Well, with all of these walls, I needed something to hang on the wall. So before I knew it, we developed the art gallery.
And so far, Dr. Lavelle says it's been a great success.
It has been tremendous, and that's thanks to the talent of all of the artists that we have. This couldn't have happened if it hadn't been for the artists willing to share their work with me. And as I've stated to you, it's all Arkansas artists that I have represented. It is not limited to any one media or one style. The public, I think, should be the judge of what they consider art and what they enjoy.
In Beebe, Chuck Dovish, today's THV, Travelin Arkansas. On any given afternoon, you can usually find 85-year-old Hiram Wilson of Benton working in his tiny backyard shop. Hey, Mr. Wilson. Working on another one here?
Yeah.
With the smell of walnut wood and sawdust flying through the air, Hiram Wilson makes mountain dulcimers, a folk instrument that was brought into Arkansas by pioneers from the Appalachians.
And you can't bend it too fast, but you can feel it when it starts to give. You can feel this wood.
A furniture maker by trade, Hiram began making mountain dulcimers only 4 years ago when his son bought a dulcimer in Mountain View, the folk music capital.
And he brought it and he showed it to me, and I said, well, I can make that thing. He said, no, you can't make it. I said, yes, I can make it too. So one day I decided I'd make it, and I asked him, I said, can I borrow that for a while? Oh yeah, you can have it. So I went and got his, and I had some, I looked around, got some pictures and some books about Dulcimer, see how they, and so I learned that the body part of the thing wasn't as much to that as it was to getting the frets and everything accurate on that fretboard. And you mark right across. You got to make these frets where you can make this string say do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Them would have to be like, it won't play a tune.
And just as his making a dulcimer was self-taught, so was Hiram's playing one. In Benton, Chuck Dovish, today's THV, Travelin, Arkansas.
The town of Wilmot in South Arkansas is just about a stone's throw away from the Louisiana line. The lifestyle down here, as you might have guessed, is a little bit different than in the Little Rock area. And we managed to find a store that's been in business since 1892 under the same ownership, and that's a little unique.
The steamboats came up. They had a group of steamboats that was before my time that delivered food here before I was born and stuff. But after the railroad came through here in 1892, it kind of died down.
What were the goods that were delivered?
Primarily molasses, beans, rice, cotton, meal, flour, and plow tools, all that kind of stuff.
When William Deyampert's father began Deyampert's Mercantile 105 years ago, you could buy everything from a marriage license to a coffin. But in the 1990s, a mom-and-pop store like Deyampert's that's still in business is rare.
People leave town and go to the adjoining larger towns like Bastrop and Hamburg and Lake Village to buy the supplies. There's one store in town that's still open. It's hard for it to supply anything that like they can get at those other places. They have much more choices at those other stores that they go to.
So what happens to small towns when people leave town to do their shopping out of town?
Well, they put small town America about out of business. I think they've really hurt the economy because the small guys going broke, and that leaves, they had to move to get work somewhere else, and it's just really hurting.
So the story in Wilmot is one that's the same in many small towns across America. The larger chain stores offer more choices and ease on the pocketbook, but it's the downtowns that suffer the hardship. In Wilmot, Chuck Dovish, today's THV, Travelin, Arkansas.